had a female gaze. And in no way was I running them through my male brain. As much as I can try to see the world as a woman, I never will be able to.
Blake Lively's decision to submit her complaint to the California Civil Rights Department has raised serious questions, especially as it ends with Us is currently in theaters and meant to be a celebratory moment for her career. Instead of florals and fanfare, her carefully curated public image has unraveled at an alarming speed, with backlash intensifying by the second. In just 72 hours, a series of major PR missteps turned what could have been a minor controversy into a full-scale crisis, prompting fans to call it one of the worst examples of celebrity crisis management in recent memory. The situation spiraled further when Ryan Reynolds drew Justin Baldoni into the fallout, a move widely viewed as unnecessary and shady, transforming the once power couple into the subject of relentless online mockery fueled by unflattering receipts. At the center of the chaos was a disastrous decision to blame Baldoni for the negative reaction to Blake's interviews, an excuse that quickly collapsed under internet scrutiny, as critics pointed out that the backlash stemmed from her own dismissive remarks, perceived lack of empathy toward domestic violence survivors, and her tendency to pivot serious discussions into personal promotions. During the film's press tour, what should have been focused on the story and its impact instead became a case study in how not to handle sensitive topics, with every comment and expression analyzed across social media platforms. Rather than addressing concerns directly, Blake's team shifted blame, even as Baldoni appeared focused on salvaging the film's reception, further inflaming public opinion. In an era where every moment is recorded, clipped, and dissected frame by frame on TikTok, comparisons between Blake and Justin only intensified the fallout, leaving many questioning her professionalism, judgment, and intentions. What could have been one of the most significant nights of her career instead became a defining PR collapse, with her once polished image now in freefall and the drama showing no signs of slowing down. In just 72 hours, Blake Lively's PR team made 3 catastrophic missteps that turned what could have been a minor stumble into a full-blown career crisis, with fans already calling it one of the worst failures in celebrity crisis management. Things escalated even further when Ryan Reynolds pulled Justin Baldoni into the chaos, a move many viewed as subtly shady, turning the once powerful couple into the punchline of relentless memes backed by damning receipts from the It Ends With Us set. The situation spiraled fast, pushing the drama to another level, beginning with what may go down as the most colossal PR blunder of the year, blaming Justin Baldoni for the backlash from Blake's interviews. That excuse collapsed instantly in an era where the internet exists to document and expose every misstep, especially since the criticism stemmed from Blake's own dismissive attitude during press rounds, her perceived lack of empathy toward domestic violence survivors, and her tendency to pivot serious discussions into personal brand promotion. Rather than addressing these concerns, Head and her team chose to shift blame entirely onto Justin, even as he appeared focused on salvaging the film's reputation while Blake looked eager to be anywhere else. That moment ignited the cancellation storm, as fans dissected interviews frame by frame across social media, comparing Blake's reactions to Justin's and finding the evidence impossible to ignore every awkward pause, dismissive comment, an uncomfortable moment spoke for itself, leaving Justin with no need to defend himself. Instead of course-correcting, Blake's team doubled down, transforming a manageable controversy into a full-scale internet investigation and opening the door to an even worse mistake, the planted story. In a move widely seen as outdated and transparently desperate, her team attempted to dismiss the backlash by framing it as a coordinated smear campaign driven by fans and journalists, a strategy that backfired spectacularly by insulting the intelligence of an audience skilled at uncovering digital footprints from years past. The result was a total loss of credibility, as telling people their outrage was invalid only convinced them something was being hidden, effectively pouring gasoline on the fire. Even if the story had been planted, which many argue it wasn't, the negative behavior on display remained entirely Blake's own, and the stunt only encouraged deeper scrutiny. The situation echoed past high-profile PR disasters, where claims of being taken out of context only worsened public perception, proving once again that underestimating an audience never ends well. A simple, accountable statement could have redirected focus back to the film and diffused the crisis, but denial and misdirection instead paved the way for mistake number 3, letting lawyers take over an action that, in the court of public opinion, often signals guilt rather than strength. Instead of containing the fallout, the legal approach completely derailed the narrative, transforming what should have been a conversation about domestic violence, empowerment, and healing into a chaotic spectacle filled with cease and desist letters, legal threats, leaked messages, and non-stop gossip that drowned out the film's intended themes. The timing could not have been worse, especially with Blake filing a lawsuit against Justin Baldoni over an alleged smear campaign just weeks earlier, triggering the internet to shift into full investigative mode. Her team seemingly believed that selectively releasing screenshots would erase earlier missteps, but the strategy backfired spectacularly, pushing Blake into headlines for all the wrong reasons and amplifying scrutiny with every attempt to control the story. Together, the 3 missteps form a textbook cautionary tale, First, blaming Justin Baldoni for the PR backlash ignited outrage and deeper examination. Second, planting a narrative to dismiss criticism destroyed credibility and fueled further backlash. And third, allowing lawyers to take the lead escalated a manageable PR issue into a full-blown legal circus. What followed was a career crisis few anticipated. As Blake's dismissive tone, awkward interview moments, and poorly handled damage control became the main storyline, completely overshadowing It Ends With Us. Social media dismantled the narrative frame by frame, rapidly shifting public perception as fans compared footage and receipts in real time. Rather than owning mistakes, Blake's team doubled down by shifting blame, gaslighting critics, and dragging legal teams into the spotlight, a move the internet flatly rejected as former colleagues and insiders began speaking out with allegations of toxic behavior and hostile working conditions on set. A project meant to inspire resilience and personal growth instead devolved into tabloid fodder dominated by drama, legal maneuvering, and leaked texts. Following a familiar and disastrous sequence of errors, deny responsibility, claim the backlash is fabricated, then call the lawyers, each step intensifying scrutiny. Observers are now left questioning whether Blake is surrounded by yes-men unwilling to challenge her or by people quietly watching the chaos unfold. But either way, the result is a PR disaster still in motion. Adding to the fallout, Ryan Reynolds' involvement may have unintentionally strengthened Justin Baldoni's position, turning what began as a controllable controversy into one of the most public celebrity meltdowns in recent memory. With Blake Lively's carefully curated image now fully collapsed and the backlash continuing to escalate by the second, Ryan Reynolds' latest Deadpool project has only intensified the controversy, as fans have begun spotting unsettling parallels between the film and the fallout surrounding It Ends With Us, particularly through Ryan's character, Nice Bull, who many believe mirrors Justin Baldoni in appearance, mannerisms, and even ideology, from the Man Bun 2 jokes referencing feminism, podcasts, workplace dynamics, and the absence of an intimacy coordinator. The similarities feel uncomfortably timed, especially given Blake Lively's past allegations of harassment and body shaming on set, claims serious enough that she reportedly asked Ryan to mediate between herself, Justin, and the production team. One line in the film referencing a character who recently had a baby struck audiences as eerily close to Blake's postpartum body shaming claims, while subtle nods to Justin's Man Enough podcasts were interpreted as deliberate jabs rather than coincidences. The optics have been widely criticized, with many questioning why allegations portrayed as deeply serious were seemingly transformed into comedic punchlines in a blockbuster, leading critics to label the move either tone-deaf or a calculated attempt to shape the narrative. As the PR disaster unfolded, some believe Ryan leaned into a Deadpool-style satire to capitalize on internet chaos, inadvertently amplifying the backlash and placing Blake in an even harsher spotlight. Meanwhile, behind the scenes of It Ends With Us, Justin Baldoni, who built the project from the ground up, was reportedly sidelined as Blake allegedly took control of rewrites, directing choices, and on-set authority. Despite being hired solely as an actress and having limited familiarity with the source material, what began as minor input allegedly evolved into near-total creative dominance, with reports that Ryan even offered a multi-million-dollar deal to remove Justin from the film entirely, an offer Justin declined, leaving Blake and Ryan to face the consequences alone. The aftermath was a PR nightmare, as Justin's contributions were minimized in promotional materials and press appearances, effectively erasing the creative force behind the film, while Blake positioned herself as the centerpiece of the narrative. Promotional strategies involving the Deadpool team only worsened perceptions, creating an atmosphere that mocked Justin's involvement and diluted the film's intended message of healing and empowerment. By the time the premiere arrived, critics and fans alike noted that the original themes had been eclipsed by chaos, blame-shifting, and awkward public messaging. Ultimately, every misstep, from blaming Justin, planting narratives, and calling in lawyers to overtaking the production itself, compounded the backlash, turning a project meant to inspire resilience into a case study in celebrity overreach. Blake's carefully built reputation is now unraveling in real time, amplified by social media scrutiny and insider accounts, while even spousal involvement, once expected to be protective, has contributed to the collapse. As Justin's team reportedly maintains a clear timeline and supporting evidence, public opinion continues to shift, leaving It Ends With Us overshadowed by scandal, and both Blake and Ryan serving as cautionary examples of how quickly celebrity power can backfire when accountability is ignored. Ryan Reynolds' attempts to protect Blake Lively appear to have backfired, turning Justin Baldoni's creative vision into the central battlefield of a saga that exposes a harsh Hollywood reality when ego, legal threats, and PR miscalculations collide. They don't just damage reputations, they can destroy entire projects, and It Ends With Us has become a casualty of that chaos. What was meant to be a story of empowerment and healing is now buried beneath celebrity drama, courtroom maneuvering, and relentless social media scrutiny, leaving many wondering whether this was a film launch or an episode of Mean Girls Hollywood Edition. Justin and his team were effectively sidelined as the turmoil unfolded, with cast members quietly unfollowing him, his role minimized, and an unmistakable sense that this went far beyond creative disagreement into something far more personal and humiliating. Meanwhile, Ryan Reynolds, leaning into his Deadpool persona, couldn't resist taking public jabs, a move critics argue looks reckless given the seriousness of the legal claims involved and only adds to the perception that the situation is being treated flippantly. What might have been intended as a power couple power move has instead become a mass in disastrous PR, with fans, legal observers, and the wider public watching as every awkward interaction and questionable decision comes under intense scrutiny. As the drama escalates in real time, Justin's team appears armed with receipts and behind-the-scenes details, while Ryan's subtle digs risk becoming evidence that undermines Blake's narrative rather than strengthens it. If handled strategically, the fallout could dramatically shift public perception in Justin's favor, turning the spotlight back onto those who believed they controlled the story. What's left is a spectacle that feels impossible to ignore, a mix of legal threats, leaked texts, online chaos, and reputational damage that serves as a cautionary tale about how quickly fame, influence, and the film's promotional campaign can spiral out of control when accountability takes a backseat to ego.